where we have Owasso and BA on Lijiang Tower. We've seen this map plenty of times. Let's see if we can see the same comps. Is BA going to run the ball comp? It's a great map for it. And there it is. There's the ball comp, the Mercy, the Pharah, all the same things that we have seen before. And Owasso is pulling out with a Roadhog. I think it's an interesting pick. I definitely think that the Roadhog could be good for trying to grab that Mercy out of the air, trying to grab the Pharah. All of these characters that BA is playing, like, Hog could definitely go really well into them.
Alrighty, and we're seeing the old faithful Broken Arrow classic. Ball, Pharah Mercy, and this time we're going to see a Hog played into this, and it's immediately going to get some very huge picks. The thing about this, though, is you got to keep your cast alive against this Pharah Mercy. Pharah's going to try to one-off, and now Mercy is going to be alone on an island, and that is a very strong start for Owasso. Broken Arrow literally has ran this comp every single game, and the Roadhog, stacked with the Cassidy, is a very solid first pick here.
Well, and that's something where Owasso has had plenty of time to look at BA's games, to look at the comps that they've been running, and figure out how they're going to play against it.
We're immediately seeing a far roll already, by the way. A 5K from Broken Arrow, and then a single flash. We didn't even get to see it on camera. That's how quickly it was. It's going to be a big kill for Broken Arrow. They're going to get point. But again, you know, if you can get your team stacked up onto point, it's all up to that hook, that initial hook to give you the pick. They're having to play really stacked because every time they try to separate, got a Tracer, Lucio, Ball that is always going to be behind you or on top of you. Cass a little alone right now. He's got to be a little careful. We're going to see Ball walking up on the back line, trying to get that kill. Is going to get the ball here, and also might have a good chance.
A little bit of lag there.
Also getting kills and a big hook onto Lucio. And that's going to be a swap of side. This time, Owasso taking the point.
Yeah, I mean, we see there that the Hog against this BA comp, BA's comp is going to be all over the place, going to be trying to dive onto back lines, and the Hog is able to look at somebody and say, no, you're coming over here instead. I mean, we just consistently see that BA is all over the place, and it is confusing to Owasso.
They're trying to pressure this Ana, but Ana is still living, but he's got to get that nano off before he dies if he wants to keep this fight going. He doesn't engage it because he doesn't feel like he needs to. Roadhog gonna get ulted out by this Pharah, and the Pharah is single-handedly carrying these fights right now. Of course, this Pharah requires the Mercy to keep them alive. I mean, without this Mercy, the Pharah would be getting pressured a lot more. And another big pick is going to land a stagger. They're going to have to wait this out. Make sure they don't lose their Cassidy too early. Pharah is building ultimate in less than a minute. Every single fight sequence, Pharah is getting ult. Meanwhile, Owasso has been holding that nano for a little bit of time now. We're going to see the mine engagement here potentially if they don't completely mess up their grapple. Here it is. We're going to see that it...
or they're going to mess up their grapple.
Yeah, maybe they don't want to talk about it, but that's fine. Now they're going to finally get the engagement they're looking for. And we're seeing
it looks like we do have a bit of a tech pause here, so we will... All right, and we are heading right back into the game. The Hog missing the hook on the Mercy, but Mercy's not able to go anywhere. Just kind of sitting there hoping to die. We do have 3 ults on Owasso's side. It's going to be very important to see how they use them, especially into this Pharah, who is going to have ult here in just a minute. BA still has mines, is going to use them to engage onto point. Multiple ults from Owasso coming out, not getting a lot of value.
Neck to neck, but they're not able to kill that Mercy. They're just trying to survive, but this might just be it for him. Can't land the hook. And that's going to be a Broken Arrow point, most likely. We're going to move into the second round. Extremely close game.
Yeah, I mean, Owasso knew that the Pharah Mercy was a problem that they needed to deal with, and it was up to the Roadhog, for the most part, to grab that Mercy out of the air, and he just kept missing his hooks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if you should run Sojourn at this point. You just need to put more pressure onto that Mercy and Pharah. So you got to land something, and there it is. We're going to see Ashe. I believe this is the first time this person has ever played Ashe. So it should be fun to see. No,
Switch right back to Soj.
Right back to Soj.
No, I mean, I do agree. I think Ashe might be the better pick here. I mean, you've got the casts, but if they're at any sort of distance, casts has a lot of fall off. Isn't going to be able to really get that.
Yeah, but also you got to think too, being able to get out of fights. I'm not really sure that Ashe is going to be able to do a whole lot from getting out of fight. We're going to see Ball looking for the engagement. We've seen a lot of drunk driving from this this Ball player, which is essentially whenever you just smack into the wall 4 times, not really do anything. But Bostiger going to get a big kill on the Shocks, and it's going to cause Owasso to have quite a bit of issues.
The Sojourn immediately getting punished by Pharah.
I feel like we've seen the level of ball gameplay decreased by each game. But even though it's decreased so much, it doesn't really matter because we see this Pharah Mercy getting all the value in the world.
My armaments are ready. Rains from above.
Alrighty. Just see a very big fight coming up.
Yeah, huge grab coming out.
Huge grab. He's gonna land for them. He's gonna get that kill onto Mercy, but they gotta keep the Zarya alive. And a nasty kill onto the cast. Finally, Owasso's gonna exchange hands and take the point. Are still online here, really low HP, but he misses every single shot. And Pharah's gonna come right back in here. What a choke.
This airspace is closed.
I mean, this Pharah Mercy combo is just aggressive. If you're Owasso here, I mean, what are you going to do in order to counter it?
I mean, you punish the Mercy down, but you just can't miss those shots. You can't let the Pharah get away and then just regroup, because Mercy's immediately just gonna fly back. This constant pocket onto the Pharah is just too much for all these teams to deal with, and nobody has a good answer for it. Meanwhile, Wrecking Ball still getting a lot of pressure, even if he's not doing things half the time. It's a very, very unfortunate round for Owasso, and we'll have to go back into this next round very shortly.
All right, and we are heading right back in. BA versus Owasso. This time, a brand new map, Midtown. I don't think we haven't seen Midtown yet. So it'll be definitely very interesting to see how BA and how Owasso play in Midtown. This is Owasso's pick, which is going to be very important. We've had a nice record of those who pick the map are the ones to win. Do you have any idea why Owasso would pick Midtown here?
You know, I talked to both of the teams, and Owasso was really between Kings and Midtown. In my opinion, I don't think Broken Arrow's Kings is that good. I think if it comes down to a brawl, if another team is better at brawl, they could probably beat them on it. But they wanted to pick Midtown, I think, because they wanted to see some different scenery, to be honest with you. When it comes down to Broken Arrow, we're finally not going to see a ball comp, which is still weird to me because Midtown actually is a very solid defense for ball. And that whole first section is very good for Wrecking Ball. But we'll see how the Sigma does. Sigma v Zarya. Can the Sigma continue the same value with this Pharah Mercy?
Pharah is hacked. Are they able to get the damage out? It doesn't look like it.
Trying to put that pressure onto the Pharah Mercy, but Sombra way too locked in on the wrong targets. Meanwhile, Juno Kiri is going to try to keep each other alive in the back line. It's all over the place. They don't have a set target, and they can't quite get the kill that they're looking for. Keep getting people low, but unless they get a kill here, they're just kind of sitting around. Sigma's going to full walk here, get the rock off, but it is not going to be able to hit anything. Meanwhile, Sigma continuing to hug the Zarya here. Finally, a pick is going to come out onto Owasso, but trades are flying all over the place. You got to remember, Mercy is still online and is going to get that res onto the Pharah. Zarya and Sombra against the world. They need to not lose to this Pharah, and is finally going to get ego checked by the Zarya. And that's going to be a good point for Owasso. Got to be honest, the Sigma wasn't it. Then again, it was a Zarya matchup. Not the best matchup for Sigma, but I don't feel like it got the value they were wanting to. Sigma spent more time in a hug match rather than doing much. Finally, we're going to get some good picks from this Sigma. He's going to apply that pressure. He also has Flux. Right now, they're just trying to prevent them from walking through the main door, holding the space for as long as possible. Now that door is going to close. They're going to get to play these two different angles. I think if you look at what kind of teams that we have right now, the Zarya requires to be able to walk in, and if they keep pushing them in these chokes, it's going to be too much for some of these squishies to walk past. Just stagger after stagger.
And look at this, Owasso is coming up on 5 ults. Like
they gotta
really
use something if they want to make something work.
Yeah, they just need to get past.
Waiting a second, getting ready to go in, but Sojourn is dead again. Now your Sombra's dead, and you just gotta wait. And now that whole advantage of 5 ultimates led to nothing, because now Broken Arrow has the same thing.
I mean, it's just a stalemate of who is able to get that first pick. I mean, BA just really needs to stand there, but it's Owasso that needs to push in and get that initial pick.
Did I scare you?
Any day now, we're going to see something interesting. We're going to see the Pharah engaged here. Luckily, the Sombra is going to be able to assist them, but this is still an insanely quick fight. Meanwhile, I'm watching my camera director stare at dead people. Finally, we're going to see some movement here, and it looks like Broken Arrow wins another fight. Broken Arrow did use 4 ultimates in that fight, where Owasso used 3. Going to be up to a very solid grab and a Flux to not kill them. Putting the pressure. Now they're going to get that grab off. Immediately probably going to Flux into this. It is still a very precarious situation, but luckily Owasso was able to pull out enough kills, and Sigma didn't want to commit. Now we're going to see that reset. You do have OC online for Owasso. Zarya walking down the Sash, gets him down to 1 HP, but not quite able to get the kill. Meanwhile, Sigma's going to try to peel. Right now, they're getting a lot of payload percentage with nobody stopping them, but this Soj needs to not die from the backline, and they're going to get a big kill onto the Ashe. This gives Owasso the opportunity they needed, but we're going to see that Flux. It's going to land on one person, and Mercy rezzing for the 50th time. Finally, Farah's immediately going to get punished, and it is just a bloodbath right now. The Mercy Sigma against the world, and finally is going to get punished. Have we found a map that Broken Arrow isn't quite too familiar with? Got Cass peeking here, trying to get that value with the Zarya, but you want to be careful here. You don't want to run out of bubbles and be forced on a fallback. Cass drops down to 1 HP. We see this far ult that we've seen a million times. And the castle engaged. It's an unfortunate switch of ults. Not really worth. And now Owasso has to fall back and regroup. 2 minutes on the clock. Very solid offense here. Broken Arrow is getting carried by their Pharah Mercy. Zarya on the fast regroup here. Getting ready. Walk in. Build some charge. A very interesting carry ult, in my opinion. But we do see grab online. Kinetic Grasp was used, but they need to keep their Sojourn alive. Now we're going to see the grab, and it's absolutely massive. But you got to make sure that Mercy isn't just going to walk in and res. You want to keep the pressure going. 3 people on cart if you can. And keep it walking it down. Broken Arrow has their golden ult, as always. And 3 others. Like, so many ults for Broken Arrow. If they stagger them, they could easily have an ult advantage into the next fight. But Farah messes up, and nobody punishes the Mercy res. Finally, Reflex walks it in, kills Mercy, kills the Farah, and now Owasso just needs to kill the mob without losing everyone. Do they have enough time? And Tracer is going to get the touch. But we're going to see Juno engaged from Broken Arrow, and this looks like the end for Owasso's push. Unless they can keep the Zarya alive. High Noon is going to be engaged. It is very winnable. He's just got to keep holding the High Noon. And he's going to get the ball, the swap, and Reflex gets the play to win the round for Owasso.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Well, what a round. What a round indeed. What are your thoughts going through your head after what you just saw? Like, what do you think that really pushed Owasso to get that done?
I mean, I think that Owasso really was... Owasso was pushing in, using their ult economy. They were making sure that they were keeping things up. I think BA had their ults pretty consistently as well, but they weren't getting a lot of uses out of them. Owasso knew and was, it looked like, was keeping track of those ults to make sure that we, like, especially with this Farah and Mercy combo, that they're watching, making sure they go, Farah has ult, we need to watch out for it, and they punished. BA tried to keep doing the same thing that they had been doing this entire time, and they got punished for it. So I'm wondering, and I'm waiting to see if they are going to continue to get punished.
I don't know. We're seeing the classic Broken Arrow Tigers comp. I've seen this game before.
5, 4, 3.
Yeah, the question is, even though
Attackers.
this ball comp is going to be fairly good for this map, is Owasso going to be able to counter it? I mean, they essentially know what BA is going to be playing.
You see Ball locking it down, just kind of spinning around and getting the disruption value, but they are able to kill Lucio. This is the thing. Can a strong, solid, survivable team outlive the Wrecking Ball dive team? And what do you know? It's Mercy Rez. Fars back into the fight. Doesn't really matter if he gets punished for flying terribly. He's just gonna get rezzed. And that's gonna be Broken Arrow taking point very quickly. That's gonna put their time at a very high level.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
So Owasso lost that first point pretty quickly. What do you think that ultimately they need to do to change it up in order to hold this point? Because they've got to hold for quite a long time.
Got to punish the Mercy Rez. The amount of times that they kill this Pharah and nobody punishes the Mercy. It's just horrific, and it's causing them to lose so many fights. Meanwhile, every time Owasso comes back to an engagement and gets one pick, Ball comes back and it's like, where are we? What's going on? Because Ball is just playing single player. Gonna go for an engagement here for the heck of it. Gonna be able to get out with absolutely free value. Nobody just stopped it. Now, what Broken Arrow is doing, regrouping, getting ready for a big pick, and that's what they wanted. Meanwhile, Tracer walks into the grab! What an insane grab from Owasso! I guess Broken Arrow doesn't have a headset. They just didn't see what was going on there.
That was some fine work.
Owasso does have two ults coming into this next fight, but BA has the same. And Pharah, we know, can build ult in just 0.5 seconds. So it is up to how Owasso is going to hold, and a huge pick on the Mercy. Reflex holding the ult, trying to at least get something out of it. It looks like for the first time we are going to see a swap off of that Pharah. I think Owasso, especially Reflex, sitting here, has been ultimately punishing the Mercy and the Pharah for overextending quite often. So I think they realized that they had to change it up in order to get that push. Because Owasso is holding. Some big picks coming off from BA, but Owasso trying to get the trades in. It's 2 minutes left on the clock. Not a lot of room to hold for 2 minutes.
This ends now.
And the kill on both the DPS and the Mercy, trying to get this Lucio, not able to hit a shot. I mean, it seems like Owasso has learned. They've learned that they need to kill the DPS, and then they need to kill the Mercy before the Mercy can res. Castle coming out, getting that kill on the DPS. Mine's getting so much value from BA. And they are going to take this point. There is not a lot of room left, not a lot of wiggle room left. If Owasso loses one more fight, they might be in trouble. There's 2:40 left on the clock. We're gonna see a BA switch to Rhine for this inside part, finally. Oh, and a Roadhog coming out from Owasso. Reflex trying to go off to the side, get a couple of picks, but is unable to, just getting punished for going off. And there it is, the Mercy res. You've got to make sure that you get behind. I mean, granted, there's a Rhine shield, but nothing's going to happen if you can't get rid of the Mercy. Rhine just switched and is already 80% for Shatter. Although Owasso does have Juno ult that they can use into it. 1:30.
Just what. Good to see you.
Rhine, Shatter available. Oh, and a huge Shatter. But he is not going to be able to get out of it because Cass coming out with the ult in order to save his team as Owasso is able to pick BA apart. "45 seconds left on the clock. BA has one more chance to get in, touch the point, and push. But Owasso has two ults. One of the big ones is going to be Hog. If he can stay up, he can use his ult to keep people off of the point. You then have Overclock as well, going off to the side, trying to get some kills. Cass tried to go up to high ground, but was pushed away. Hog using his ult, trying to keep people off of point. They swapped to Ramantra, but is it going to be able to do anything? 5 seconds left. Picks coming out from Owasso. All they need to do is kill the Ramantra. Mercy coming in, probably going to try to get a res. Oh, Tracer's there, able to at least get a touch. You're gonna see a pulse. Unable to get anybody, and that is going to be Owasso's point. Owasso BA 1-1. We will be right back. All right, and we are back with BA versus Owasso. 1-1.
3, 2, 1.
Plenty of comms coming in from the other room. Again, this is the semifinals for the upper round. Whoever wins this goes on to play in the grand finals. Whoever loses goes down to the lower bracket and losers finals. It is still anyone's game. We do see BA with that same exact comp. We see the ball, we see the Pharah, we see the Mercy. Owasso knows the plan. Owasso knows how BA plays, so how are they going to play against it? We have not seen a pick yet. All right, we get that first pick off from BA. And multiple more follow as BA is able to get those important picks in that back line to leave just Ramatra behind, and BA is going to be able to keep the point. We're already at 60%. Owasso needs to make sure to hurry onto point if they want to get this. We're coming up on a couple of ults for Owasso, but BA does have that coveted Pharah ult. I mean, I feel like at this point they're just going to walk right into that Pharah ult if they're all trying to huddle around this corner. Yeah, and Owasso is just unable to do anything against BA here. I mean, they need to do a switch or something. They need to make sure that they're taking care of this Pharah Mercy. BA having 4 ults, coming up on 5. They're just flexing on Owasso at this point. Pharah sitting up here waiting. As soon as they walk the corner, she's ready to ult them. No Kiri TP there in order to get away. This is seeing a couple of ults used, and there it is. And finally, Owasso is able to come in and start getting some picks. Owasso's been able to hold this point pretty well. BA's trying to push in on them and get those picks, but Owasso just needs to hold steady. Yeah, Juno ult is going to be engaged. A great damage boost and a wonderful hook from Hog here. Trying to get rid of the Mercy before the res. Beautiful. We do still have mines, but isn't going to use it. And that is going... Unless we can get a touch, that is most likely going to give Owasso that point. Owasso and BA looking relatively the same as far as ult economy, though.
Look what we've achieved.
BA doesn't want to play far anymore, apparently, swapping over to the Sojourn and immediately getting a bunch of picks out of it.
Roadhog and at Roadhog off, and that Owasso loves to run. And big thing to realize, it is 1-1. That's the neck right now. Also just needs to keep playing consistent. Broken Arrow has a one-trick Wrecking Ball player. They can shut down the Wrecking Ball and keep that DPS lineup from putting the pressure. They can keep this play going. And a big hook onto the Lucio. See the hook onto the ball. Fortunately, they're not going to be able to do enough damage that would really scare the Wrecking Ball. They're going to try to catch him on the side now. He's kind of just dancing around the Roadhog. Sojourn stuck at 1 HP, getting ready to use that ultimate, and ult is going to be engaged with the hook. He's going to try to put the pressure, and please carry me. He's going to kill him, but we're going to see the beats. He's going to try to get the Mercy right, and it's going to be stopped by the Roadhog. But you got to get a kill. You got to see something. We don't see the Roadhog ult being engaged because they believe they can win this without it. What an insane counter from Please Carry Me. What a fight. That is the fight that they are looking for. They're going to try to get an early pick onto the Lucio, but Sojourn is going to get killed on Owasso's side, and now they're in a precarious situation because mines are available. They're going to hold it, and now Owasso's going to have to fast regroup and hopefully not stagger here. Roadhog's not going to be able to get out of that. 65%. Going to be pretty hard to get a Roadhog all the way to point in less than 30. You're going to need somebody to select the touch here, and they don't really have anyone to do it. 10 seconds on the clock. They just have to walk.
This ends now.
Pulse is completely missed. Roadhog gets onto the point. The Tracer is killed. It's anyone's game. Lucio is killed. Mines are going to be engaged. Kiri's going to try to survive into the back line. Meanwhile, Sojourn's going to have to back off for a second. It is still anyone's fight. Roadhog is just trying to live, but he can't land the hook onto the Surge. Extremely low HP. His team is trying to keep him alive. It is a battle of who can kill the tanks, and a big hook onto the Tracer, but the Roadhog is going to be killed. And Owasso is just in a very bad situation here. And Broken Arrow is going to take the point. Roadhog got boxed in there. The mines were engaged, and it was just too much for them. And now it's 2-1. Roadhog's back, looking for that hook. Big hook onto the Tracer, and that's going to be a nice kill. But they need to make sure they don't get booped here. They're going to walk and take that space. High Noon is available. We are going to see a pause real quick. We'll be right back.
Flashpoint unlocked.
2-1, Owasso does have point here. And Broken Arrow's going to need to regroup after their Tracer died and somehow crashed the game. Gotta love to see it. At least it was her over everyone else. Everyone's going to have to regroup here and get ready to go for a re-engagement. Lucio trying to get that frontline damage. We're going to see a big kill onto the Juno. Even though Juno was used, we have Castle also engaged.
Cybernetics regulated.
Broken Arrow's going to kind of walk off here. Lucio, or Mercy, 1 HP. And they keep Reflex alive. They can't. Ball's going to come back here, but Lucio is going to get traded for the cast. Ball's going to do an engagement. Try to get this Sojourn killed. Wrecking Ball. Not going to be able to be killed. Really low in the back line. But Roadhog against the world. Is going to get the hook onto the Wrecking Ball, and he's going to get the kill that they need. Owasso is looking to close this out, but Broken Arrow hasn't given up yet. There's no rewind. And that's going to be that point for Owasso. What a hook! It's a Lucio on the wall run, and it's 2-2. Neck to neck, another one!
I'm here.
And now, if you're Broken Arrow, you need to start thinking about swaps here. You're ultimately getting caught out by this Roadhog from Owasso. This is the last fight, or the last point. Neck to neck here, but Broken Arrow has plenty of ultimates to win an engagement. Wrecking Ball is going to make an engagement onto the backline to get Kiri. The cleanse is going to keep him alive just barely, but can they stay alive? They are able to get the kill on the Juno and Sojourn, giving them that early fight. But Wrecking Ball is killed here. It's not completely over for Owasso, assuming they don't res. They pop the castle to stop any, and Mercy is going to be killed. And what a big counter.
I mean, this Roadhog's hooks have been absolutely insane, allowing him to get so much value, killing all of those characters, and then Reflex off in the background, one-tapping everybody. Owasso able to take the point. This is the last one. If they are able to win this point, they will go 2-1 and potentially be able to take the win from Broken Arrow.
This
who thus far has gone completely undefeated. 2 kills, 3 kills coming out from Sojourn. Just unable to kill the Hog. Finally, BA is able to take back the point. They're sitting at 30%. Owasso has some time to regroup, get back on a point, especially with 2 ults. I think BA definitely needs to be wary of the Roadhog, especially because of all of these god tier hooks that he's been getting. The Soj is immediately taken out. So is the Kiri, getting pushed off of point. And Ball almost has ult.
A big hook is going to kill Wrecking Ball. And Owasso is going to stay in this fight, but the Soj ult is going to be engaged. 96%, and then Ball is going to get rezzed. I don't know if Owasso can really do anything. They're going to get the touch, but I just don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch it. Broken Arrow closes out the map.
Play of the game.
But now you got to play push. If you're Owasso, you got to be really thinking hard. What's the game plan here? You need a very solid map to get a win. With Broken Arrow, I feel like the comp was a great idea. Now we just need to see where they want to play it.
All right, and in we go to the third map. Map 4 of BA and Owasso. Colossio, we have seen this map plenty of times. It's a great map. And once again, we see the exact same comp from Broken Arrow. The only thing they're missing is a Pharah.
That's right, big man. It's the 1880s all over again.
We have once again consistently seen that those who are picking the map are usually the ones who end up winning. So we'll see Owasso picked Colossio, and we'll see how they do against it. We do see the Sigma comp. I'm wondering what their plan is when they're going in against BA here. They know that the Mercy and the DPS is going to be a problem. And that Sigma's not really going to be able to do anything against Ball except stun him forever. Make me eat my own words over here. Yeah, Owasso able to get plenty of picks here, push everybody back. Instead of a Cass or a Pharah for that upfront damage, they switched over to an Ashe. It doesn't look like they're able to get too much out of it. Sigma looking to lock down this Ball. Just holding that front area. Do have a Bastion in order to try to send some damage down the field. Catches Lucio with a grenade. Tracer's coming in from behind and able to get that pick. BA is pushing forward.
Anyone notice they took our lead? Let's pick it up.
Draw strength from nature.
Barrier initialized.
The barricade's moving. Keep up.
Owasso immediately being put on the back burner as this Tracer is just able to walk behind them and get so much value. We haven't seen a lot from the Bastion on Owasso. I'm wondering if it is the correct choice here, especially because most of the rest of the team, other than, I would say, Ashe and probably Mercy, is going to stick on them, are just going to be in the back line. Everybody else is going to be running around, and it's going to be hard for Bastion to keep up. A great stun going out, forcing the ball to run away. Owasso does have Juno ult and Kyrie ult to go into this next fight. It's going to be huge if they can get a couple picks here. But they are just unable to deal with this Tracer in their backline. Cass finally able to push the Tracer away, but only for a second. And once again with another pulse bomb, aiming to try to get a good pick. And Owasso is just kind of getting walked on for this. I mean, Owasso has one more chance here, maybe two, in order to try to get this push back. They need to take control of the point. They need to get a couple of picks, specifically on this Tracer. That Bastion ult coming out, trying to make space. Nothing's happening with it, though. Fury ult being engaged, trying to push forward. Bastion dead in the back line once again by this Tracer. Owasso is just unable to do anything against Broken Arrow right now. And it looks like a very quick fourth game is going to give Broken Arrow the undefeated streak going on to the grand finals.
Play of the game.
And Broken Arrow was just consistently pushing, and Owasso had no answer to any of their backline damage. And that ultimately caused their defeat. We will be right back, going down to the lower bracket for round 3 semifinals. And then we will see Owasso once more in the lower finals.